All right, hey everybody, Jared Napolitano here, JNAP, to cover some GEMPC 5 or 5th GEMPC match, whatever you prefer to call it. Um, we have actually a couple matches going on right now, but I'm going to primarily focus on the one between Scott, aka Advocate, and Adam, echobstrpr. Um, Adam is one of my teammates, and Scott is one of my favorite people in the community. Obviously, lead advocate, great guy, like what an understatement. But they're going to be playing soon. Scott also defeated me, knocked me out in round two. So again, hoping to cover this and hoping to offer some good perspective, given how well I know these two guys and how often I've played them and talked to them about decks. So hopefully everyone can see my screen, hear me okay. This other match between JJD and Dylan is going on. We may pop into that, especially at the beginning here, because Scott and Adam haven't yet fired off. But just for some quick context, we have here, this is the bracket for GEMPC 5. This is these two matches that are going to be playing each other. Here's Advocate and echobstrpr, and then we have JJG and Dylan, Jared and Timo. So they're playing right now. It looks like they're doing Invisible Hand Bridge SSAV versus Diplo. So looks like Adam just posted the table, so we won't hop into this one yet, but actually let's just do it real quick, just to get a quick idea. So looks like they're both got a lot of life force left. Got Corlog out, a bunch of stuff at the system with Diplo. Grievous is at Mos Eisley with a lightsaber. Justice is out. This can go in a lot of different directions. But yeah, maybe we'll pop in depending on how fast this other one goes. And Adam and Scott may or may not play the second game. No, unfortunately, I don't technically have off today, so I might not be able to do the second. But what we might do is maybe I'll ask, or one of the other streamers can ask for the replay, from the people involved, and they can do a review that way. And like I talked about in the last stream I did, I think it's good or ideal that all these games are covered, so that there's some equity of, everything's out there. And again, that there's a mitigating factor. People can change their decks from round to round, so it's not like there's extreme scouting that's going to, hurt. But it also wouldn't be fair if the same people are always streamed and some people are never streamed, and vice versa. Yeah, I definitely had some games, Chris, against Jared late at night that take a really, really long time. Maybe during the day he's a little quicker, but I think there was one time he fell asleep playing me and timed out. So here we have Scott versus Adam, and this might be trademark versus trademark. Scott might be going with Court Musicians here, which is a terrifying deck, as I said, in many places. Adam's going We Have a Plan. He is basically the WHAP guy. He played it a lot last year's OCS. He did very well. He got the number 3 overall seed. Lost to Bastion in the second round, I believe. But Adam knows WHAP very, very well. Of course, Adam, well, what can you say about all his contributions lately? He's been coding stuff left and right. He just coded tractor beams. If you are not aware of that and you like tractor beams, you should build a deck soon. And of course Scott, lead advocate. He does a million things for the PC. So yeah, this definitely looks like Scott's Court Musicians deck. I know Adam, and talking with him ahead of time, he had thought about going with another deck. He definitely said he did not want a bunch of musicians squatting at the throne room. That was a fear of his, because those musicians in bunches are pretty strong. And one of the crazy things that Scott has mentioned about the musicians is that they're all like Decipher people. None of them are like crazy overpowered virtual cards. A lot of them were made that way 22, 21, 23 years ago, like Lyrian Karen from A New Hope with the cover charge. And when a bunch of them are together, it gets pretty wild. So it's good that we have... I mean, I should take that back. I'm not positive this is Scott's Musicians deck. It probably is, though. If I was him, and we've talked about this as a team, sometimes you just want to go with your fastball. And if you lose with your fastball, you definitely at least have less regret than trying to get a little cute, which is something I feel like I did against Scott. I thought he would definitely pin me on Agents of Black Sun, and therefore he might play like Tig or something that could really be teched out for it, and I could lose pretty badly. Scott said on Hollow Theater that he had no idea that I played that during all 3 days of Worlds. He actually had a lot of anti-ISB and Walker tech in his light what you have learned, and that's pretty crazy because I barely ever play ISB. So this match play stuff is a lot of fun in that you don't. Sometimes you think your opponent has you pegged for something, and you kind of outthink yourself, and sometimes you don't. So this is Scott's turn one still. He hasn't yet got pinged from his own objective. One of the funny things about WHAP is that there's like 7 actions that it wants to take in Darkseid's turn one. It pulls stuff with the hallway. You can pull Ascension Guns. Then this effect, take the long way V, can pull a system and or leader, which is usually going to be Amidala or Panaka, depending on what's the opening hand. It does the activate one. It pulls the grabber. And I think I covered them all as Scott gets out. Docking Bay with the court objective. He's going to eat a ping to his own card. I played against Scott's court musicians in Jawas in Love as WHAP, actually. Not my best game. I definitely fell into a trap of going to the audience chamber with Mace. He got beaten down by a bunch of musicians, and as I told Scott, it's my least favorite band is his musicians. So I think I took like an overflow of maybe 7 or 8, and he was dispaced before I was, and he Ellised. Fun thing, and this happens a lot versus Scott, is you say, oh, no one's ever done that to me before. Like in my GEMPC match where he played Surprise to retarget, or no, he played I Have a Feeling About This to retarget my short range fighters, watch your back, substitution of a Destiny from my 1-star fighter with a 7 maneuver to the other one with a 4, and that made a huge difference in that battle and the game as Master Qui-Gon comes out. But Scott also played Ellis Hellrot to move Jango Fett to the Camino Birthing Center for free, because Fett's move to there, maybe even to or from there, for free. So I think Adam is playing Camino and the Birthing Center, so maybe we'll highlight that again. But yeah, these are the fun and crazy things that Scott comes up with. You know, people know him for Skrillings and MCOT and My Kind of Scum. Obviously, he is, I would say, the ringleader of the Mind What You Have Learned Club in making that deck. Very creative deck builder, and definitely both these guys actually. This is almost the matchup of the guys who probably ask the rules team the most questions for different reasons. Scott comes up with some crazy things. Adam's trying to code things, and the rules team is like, well, no one's ever asked that in the last 20 years, because no one's ever tried to code certain things into a very systematic tool like GEMP. So Qui-Gon moves over to the hallway, which is not a battleground. Erica is a spy musician, but Scott's activating 8. I don't think Qui-Gon is going to be at any risk here. Obviously, his plan is going to be to move Qui-Gon in to the throne room next turn, get Amidala there, flip, and then be able to cancel Destiny, cause some direct damage, and do the other things that WHAP does. And I could talk a lot about WHAP. I think it's actually in a good place because it has this effect makes Imperials deploy -1 to the throne room, which can slow down, hunt down V a little bit. And people, a lot of people have taken Imperial Decree Virtual out of their decks because it was in them a lot for No Idea, but No Idea got errata in October to ping for only 1, the Stardust that is, instead of 2. So kind of, and also with Throne Room getting knocked out, or knocked down, I should say, with Walkling get errated. A Dark Time for the Rebellion came out of a handful of decks, which is another way to prevent WHAP from canceling their canceling Darkseid's destinies. People aren't usually going to play Decree V solely out of fear of profit, which is the other big direct damage deck that No Idea and WHAP were the big 3, I would say. Decree V comes in handy against like Rebel Strike Team if they're going to blow up the bunker. Comes in handy. I like playing it in a stunning move when I play some senses so that do or do not pings for only 1. And then it's also just a good card that you get that Battle Destiny. I'll play it in Black Sun still sometimes. Here comes the first band member, Akarev. And Scum comes out. So he can take 1 musician in hand. Griata she's like the prime leader of the band, I think. She makes all musicians deploy -1 and forfeit +3, which is pretty wild. A lot of these court musicians, these aliens don't have great forfeit deploy ratios, but Griata makes it work, and she's pullable by Utaguta Solo V. Obviously the audience chamber can pull an alien once per game. Boelo helps protect the audience chamber, cancel destiny. I remember Scott, this guy wasn't coded in the last year. I think like 6 or 8 months ago he finally got coded. He had some weird thing about peaking and reordering. Dodo Bodo Wiedo. So Scott's got his 4 musicians here. This, nothing too crazy, but as long, like with damage wise, Adam's gonna eat a ping of 1 until he gets somebody here, if he ever gets somebody here. But having some protection on Scum, the effect to make sure that stays in impact allows Scott to then do some hit and runs with the rest of his musicians and good aliens, like you'll see a Boba Fett and a Jango Fett and some of the other usual suspects in here. So we're going to Adam's control phase, turn 2. I would anticipate this turn is Qui-Gon moving, Amidala getting deployed. Here comes Ascension Guns. Qui-Gon has this text where you can upload an EP1 interrupt if you get pinged from opponent's effect, not an objective. Sometimes you'll see him just keep pulling Ascension Guns and looping it. Yoda comes out. This is probably the one deck that non-V Yoda Master of the Force still makes sense in, because you're usually going to be on Naboo with him. He can also pull Sense Alter Control, which are really helpful, especially to pull like Control Combo. Get that 1 out of your deck and also use it then to cancel a drain or find a key card in your force pile. Fully immune. That's pretty wild. So he gives like somebody like Plo Koon or immunity who doesn't normally have it, although he's got pretty good game text he can give it to himself by losing a card. So Adam's WHAP obviously has gone through a lot of fine tuning, I'm sure, over the course of the last 12 months. He's tweak cards here and there, as there was a tweak set that came in the end of last March, and then the erratas, and in October. He's definitely molded this to become what he thinks is good for the meta. And here comes Amidala for the flip. Scott, he definitely really likes Ellis Hellrod. It's in a lot of his decks. So Adam has to be leery of some type of court beatdown that might come to party somewhere. But as it is now, he's got a drain of 3 here. This is the one that adds... No, okay, this doesn't add. That's the Obi-Wan's, that's the Destiny 2 that adds on Naboo. So it's going to be a drain of 2 and a ping of 2. And he's got Amidala and Padme there. Good power. He's got weapons. I'm sure he's got tricks like Clash and Sorry About the Mess combo. And, Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi combo, which is really good against Scum for a lot of reasons. And he'll pass the turn to Scott for turn 3. And Scott, I don't know. It's good that he has Decree V in his deck, because some people have taken it out, like I was talking about at the beginning. So the other match, hopefully we'll cover that in some form. Like I was saying, maybe we'll get a replay for it. That was covering. So Akarev is going to upload a musician. He drained for 1. Adam top decks Landing Claw, which could be handy in his deck. I know Scott has at least played Space Cruiser at some point, Space Cruiser V. And that, he can go to the system, either Nal Hutta or Camino. Greedo gets uploaded by Griata. So she can take any Rodian. So she can take Dodo, which I think is what happened the first... No, it's only during the control phase he can upload. So Greedo's obviously a great guy in court. He's only deploy 1 and he can do it as a react. Because of Scum, he's forfeit 6, so he can soak up a lot of forfeit. He forces. It's really neat that his non-V card is just so bad, but the virtual Greedo is pretty baller. So Dodo's going to peek at the top 2 cards. Scott's going to reorder them. And he's going to play Loparade. Okay, so that's some nice tech. And that's good against WHAP, too, because WHAP runs Clash of Sabers. I've had this card in my Black Sun at one point. But it's with Dodo, if you can rearrange and then you can grab a card, you get some deck manipulation here. Scott has also been known to play blacks on a decent amount. He's got that bad deck breakdown feature where he starts Twilight Advisor and Presence of the Force to start flipped. I know Adam shared a story one time about playing against Scott, and Sleens were involved. And I think he was shared in a replay one time, and I'm pretty sure Scott is the only person I've ever seen play Ellis Hellrod and draw 0 twice in one game. So out comes Erica, out comes Lear and Karen. So this is a musician party. The band is playing. Lear and Karen is really good in that for each other musician's presence adds a cover charge of 1 to move or deploy each character. So that applies to both sides. It's not just light side's characters, which is interesting. But obviously you always want to put Lyran out last because you don't want her to put the cover charge on her or him. I think it's a him. Fifth missionary, male backup, horn player, figure in Deanne's band. So we got 6 musicians here. Erica's going to be retrieving unless Adam pulls the simple trick shield. He's going to drain. There's no battle order or plan out on either side. Both these decks probably have a little bit of space, not a ton. But it's all a matter of who wants to slow who down more. Scott, against me, he'll get Rystall out, who creates some retrieval. And obviously Scum retrieves, Erica retrieves. Galed's now adding to the force drain here. So it's a deck that comes together well if it's allowed to, as long as, like Hitko and Jedi Knight Luke doesn't get here first. But even then, when like I said, I got here, I canceled Scum once. He just got the second one out. So yeah, there's a surprising number of cards that cancel Dark Strike. Swing and a Miss does it as well and has some neat text. And yeah, Strike Blocked does as well. And obviously it's a trap, cancel Sniper, so it can cancel the combo. And with I was talking about this in the stream with Stubble the other night, Hunt Down V, you'll see a lot of 2 Sniper Dark Strikes, and that card's just so strong. Sometimes it's good to have a canceller besides just a sensor. So Adam wants to find something in his force pile. He plays Control Tunnel Vision. He's got 16 cards to choose from. And he just got 2 damage through. Scott lost Battle Order First Strike off the top. So he's still debating about a card. I wonder what card he's looking for here. Maybe Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi combo just to protect from Ellis. Maybe some type of space card to try to get there. If I was Adam, he only got 1 shield out. If I was him, and this happened to me too, he should pull Aim High. There's no way he's going to regret pulling Aim High. And actually, maybe he's even just debating between Aim High or Simple Tricks. It's kind of tricky because this will happen a lot with CCT Flip, where they're just camping out at the audience chamber, and it's only the audience chamber. And Lightside is tempted to pull the Simple Trick shield to prevent that retrieval because they need to be on 2 battlegrounds. They're going to get the 2 battlegrounds if they need to or want to. But you just got to ask yourself, what's my shield game here? What am I going to likely have to pull? Scott has played some decks that are pretty crazy shield busting ones, but this one, you're going to need Aim High. You're probably going to want Goldenrod. I don't think it'd be the craziest thing in the world to have Simple Tricks and Aim High out in this matchup. He's definitely got perimeter scanned. Debating. Scott probably didn't want to pull Battle Order, and I talked about this in my stream the other day. I play Battle Order First Strike in some decks, and therefore you don't want to put out Battle Order because then you can't put that down, and that's oftentimes the better function is the First Strike part of the combo. And so sometimes at your own detriment, you're holding off on pulling that shield, even though it may make sense to try to slow down the opponent, or they may not have space cards, like my game against Kyle in the OCS this month. Eric, I can't talk. Adam decides on a card here, and we'll see what he does the rest of this turn. So if Adam does shift to the hallway with like Panaka, he would do a hit of 4 with the objective, and Scott can only reduce it to 1. It's not 2 then 2. It's like a collective 4 that then can be reduced by decree. So Mace comes out with a lightsaber, Adam redeploys or transfers the Jedi lightsaber to Mace, who can swing it twice, of course, with his game text. Yeah, Surprise Assault would be really good in this. But, so yes, what's he got? 7 guys here. So that's an average of like 2.5 power a piece. Yeah, if you could play Surprise Assault. I'm sure Scott probably has a cold feet to cancel it. But yeah, that could be a big deal if someone were to play it. Because Scott, I would not say is a mains player, although he played Hitko allegedly in the first round of the GEMPC, which is pretty wild. And out comes Kit Fisto. This image looks different than I first remember it, but maybe it looks more like gold, and I feel like it was usually more like a bluish tint, but whatever. He's pretty cool. He's got land speed 2, and he can start, using a force to draw a card from the top. He's got immunity less than 5. Is this the holo, James? I mean, some of them. I saw sometimes they do the holos on. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, so this is quite a stack of Jedi. You got 4 Jedi here plus Padme and Panaka. So that's a pretty enforced, location for 2 damage. Obviously, at some point he's going to want to move off here. But it's pretty impenetrable right now, even for a crazy band of musicians. Hang on one second. All right, hey guys, sorry about that. I'm back. Had to step away for a minute. So it looks like I missed. Looks like Adam uploaded since. Scott used the blow parried move again after using Dodo's text. Erica retrieved. Adam did pull out aim high. Battle Order first strikes back. And Lin Mi is coming out. Alright, so yeah, there is a holo. Yeah, so they were holos, and I saw some of them. I think like Trench and Rex were, and then they stopped. Yeah, blow parried does work nicely with Dodo to upload a card you might really be looking for. We have a drain of 2 at the audience chamber with Gaylid, a barrier, and Mace Windu are top decked. And now we have Scott in his deploy phase. So at some point, these guys are going to go to space or start spreading out off these doom stacks of musicians and Jedi. I mean, you would think that Jedi would usually have the upper hand against a band, but this is not your normal band. This is the advocate band. Out comes Rystal. So she is going to now lead to probably a retrieval of Scott's entire lost pile. So when she gets deployed, and including for herself, anytime a musician is deployed to the same site, you get to retrieve a force. Out comes Lin Me. That's going to be the cold feet. So yeah, so Scott has the cold feet in there, not only just to pull a shield, but probably because surprise assault would be a big problem for his deck. Lin Me's going to make Boba Fett deploy free, and other bounty hunters deploy -1. She's really good against like Watch Your Step. Although Han's usually in space. Although does she work in space? Subtracts 1 from the deploy cost. Or during battle, subtracts extra opponent's total power, number of musicians present. Yeah, so she won't really work in space because none of your musicians are present. If it said present with Lin Me, that might work. Greedo's coming out, so he's now only going to be free because deploy -1 from Scum, deploy -1 from Lin Me. And I'll come Jasper. And this is going to be a drain 2. And 4 characters, only power 8. But Scott now has another source of damage. He's going to be forcing 4 and retrieving 1. Whereas Adam only has 2 damage queued up here. So Adam has a couple more cards in hand, a couple less cards face down. Or no, I'm sorry, I said 2 damage. He's gonna be doing 3 damage. I'm thinking of that one lightsaber, but the other lightsaber obviously adds to the force drain. So a second copy of Ak Rev gets tossed by Scott. Wounded Warrior. Interesting. Cancels Leia's game tax. Probably if like Leia Rebel Princess goes up against a stack of musicians, they all can get blanked from their ability, but he could play this, cancel her game text, and then wow, then you have like all of a sudden a whole stack of aliens ready to go. But Lightside probably isn't going to walk into that a lot. Usually they're going to know that at any point a droid can just come out and make it a moot point that Leia's blanking, make her stop blanking. Search and Destroy comes off the top. That would be good against like, a Y4 ops deck. Sometimes it's good against like Hitco if they only have Luke out, because you need to have a Destiny character with Destiny less than 4, where you're going to take a ping. Yeah, Umpus stays. When I played Scott and the Jaw was in love, he was the guy I excluded with Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi combo, and that really swung the power down a lot to help me. But eventually that match was a blowout. Scott just kept retrieving everything, and there was no way I was going to keep up on the damage. I think I put a projection of a Skywalker on the audience chamber. That didn't make too much of a difference. And so we'll see what Adam does here. He's got 14 force to work with, 14 cards in hand. Do a quick plug here if anyone out there is interested in the premiere to Death Star 2 retro event. Sign up for that. It's still about a month and a half away, but one of the reasons why I wanted to get that, me and Robbie wanted to get that announced and out, because people might not play that very often, so it gives you plenty of time to build some decks, get more comfortable with the format, tweak the decks. So if you want to be really competitive about it and do really well, you have plenty of runway to get familiar with the format. And that's on the forums. I also made a tinyurl.com/retro2021. It's on the scroll down here as well. So I just want to plug that. Jawas in Love just ended. I actually need to assess the top 8 for prizes that Chris Menzel and Kevin Yap had prepared. See who's getting those. So that was a really, really fun event. Timo, who's playing right now in the other event, or the other GEMPC match, I think he won. Him and Brad Kipple had a ton of points, a ton of games. Then, of course, OCS is going on February month. I was looking at the standings last night. Looks like Desai, Myers, and Drew are all doing very well. They only have 2 losses. So Anakin comes out with Chewie. We got a weapon. The bowcaster. Let's see what tricks Scott may have. I would bet he's probably got a projective telepathy. And let's see what else. So Greedo's already down, so he's not going to react. I don't think there's a dark side version of Too Close for Comfort. I know that's a card he likes to use in What You Have Learned to make you use 2 force or cancel the targeting. But I have a feeling there's got to be some tricks coming out from Scott. He's got 10 cards in hand. But yeah, it looks like in the OCS this month, it might be a 2-loss, might get it done, like 10-2. I think Myers was 8-2. I think Desai and Drew are both at 9-2. But we can check that, if there's kind of a lull in the action, or if this ends on the sooner side, or. But yeah, it looks like good competitive OCS stuff. Good, glad to have it back after a few months of the off season. Adam pulls the weapon levitation shield just to make sure that the Jedi lightsaber doesn't go away. Adam's going to eat a ping to the court objective. Which is General Kenobi from Use Pile. They're, even on power basically. Each side's getting 1 battle destiny. Let's see what happens now. Lin Mi's ability 1. It looks like she's reducing the power by 2 musicians. These guys would normally be power 11. Each of the weapon destinies are +1 from this site. It's like the defensive perimeter. Adam draws a 1, so he's going to pay the 1 because of Greedo to fire. That's actually, so that's added 2 because of Anakin, and also added 2 because of the site. So that's going to be an easy hit. Either he really wanted to get rid of Greedo, or yeah, he just really wanted to get rid of Greedo. I would bet that Chewie, I would have maybe fired at Jasper here, unless he's playing to mess. No. He Jedi leved Ahsoka into hand. So he must really want Ahsoka, because it's not like that would have led to a miss. And draws Sio Bibble. So Greedo is very easily hit with 12 Destiny versus 1's defense value. Lana Dobry combo comes out to save his 6 forfeit. And Greedo gets sliced. Yeah, EPP Ahsoka's probably really good against this deck, where she can take out a couple musicians at once. Their forfeits aren't crazy good, so it only makes their forfeit -2 each, but someone like Lin Mi, only ability 1, but she's forfeit. Oh yeah, because Griata's pretty strong. But Greedo can't satisfy attrition, so because of the Jedi lightsaber. And now, okay, he's going to exclude Greedo with the Quam combo, as I call it, Quid Mercenary combo. That's going to trigger an automatic force loss of 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Scott grabs it. Adam's probably not playing 2. Maybe that's what Scott's thinking, and he doesn't really have. He can walkling it back, but I'm not sure that's what he's going to do. But if you're Scott, you don't want that card popping up here and there. It could, like I said, we talked about Umpastay is a really strong musician, but he's only ability 1, so him getting excluded can really swing a battle. Greedo is going to get excluded and go lost. And Scott doesn't grab it. And now he can still fire with Chewie. So he wanted to get rid of Greedo first. Jasper is defense value 5. And it looks like he's going to get hit. So that 5 turns into a 6. And his forfeit, if this will let me select it, yeah, he's forfeit 7. So he is going to be hit. and that's big for Adam because it prevents him from soaking up a lot. And he baited out that Dobreed combo, whether intentionally or unintentionally, but that was good because now, good for Adam. Um, he might be able to clear. He's got to draw. Anakin's going to add 1 to the Battle Destiny, but Rystall's forfeits 6. So Scott's probably going to have one of his musicians survive here if he draws decently. Yeah, that's a really good question. That's probably a misplay. Because, yeah, it's not like he's saving any forfeit, and he still can't soak up any attrition. So that's probably not something that Scott was happy with. So this is pretty cool about WHAP. And this is where they're tracking us as a really good card because it can add to the Dark Side's Destiny, and then it can prompt a cancel with the objective. So hold on one moment. All right, so Scott loses Rystall to cover 6 and then peels 1, which is another musician, Nizuk Beck. This guy has present start of the battle can cause to move away for free and power +3. Wow, so you can get pretty powerful pretty quickly with all the other synergy that the musicians have. So Linmi will survive. Yeah, we were just talking about how Dobreed combo, not a great play there, and how their tracking us can be used to add 1 to like a 3, which would then trigger the 7 side to be able to cancel the destinies. So it's a really good card for WHAP. Nizuk Beck is not. Interesting. He's just a bouncer. Loves jury juice. Friend of Wooher. Guard celebrities. Yeah, you learn something new every day. So now we're at Adam's move phase. He's got this stack of Jedi here. They're both at exactly 21 cards face down, 9 cards in hand. So they're dead even here. Right, if I'm doing my math correctly. And neither side is in space. Both of them have at least 1 more shield pull. Adam's probably debating about splitting these guys up a little bit, but that might create an opening. Might create an opening for Scott to attack. In that 9 card hand, he probably has 4 or 5 characters. So okay, that's right. This text, they move here for free. So that is a really good way. So he doesn't have to worry about burning his last couple force. And then maybe Scott finds that battle order for a strike. So Adam exactly splits up his forces. He's got 2 Jedi and a key character in Amidala and Panaka at each of the 2 interior Theed sites, just like the movies. Any moment now, Darth Maul might show up with a double-bladed lightsaber, but Chewie's hanging out with Anakin over at the courtyard. So battle plan does get pulled here. Might be the difference in Scott's approach if he's got to pay the 3 for the drain of 2. That only leaves him with 11 force to work with, but with Scum out, And with Griata, he can get out a lot of guys pretty cheap still. Because, yeah, while at the AC, all other musicians are deploying -1 and forfeit +3. That's huge. Eric is going to retrieve a force. Interesting deck for match play, just with all the retrieval that goes on. I know one of the community's most famous court players, if not the most court players, Joker King, will say that he doesn't like to play court in. I'm not sure if he says he doesn't like it. He just hasn't played court often in match play, which is interesting because you get that. When it goes well, it can go really well. You can win games by 25-30 with that retrieval. I think especially against like No Idea. And Diplo, court or CCT with Scum can really just get into a loop late game of just battle, retrieve, find the guy, find another guy, throw, like, it can get pretty, what's the word? Loopy. Or cards can cycle, and Dark Side can do pretty well late game, but, if the AC gets overrun by Light Side, that doesn't happen. So out comes Ellison Hinthra to now Hutta. Scott's going to try to be first to space. There's definitely a ship floating around. Here comes Jabba's Space Cruiser, which is going to upload. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We got a potty training toddler going on. And I don't think many people want to hear my daughter crying, so I'll might mute here and there. But out comes the Space Cruiser. We'll see if no leader in the reserve deck to be uploaded for Scott. Jango Fett comes out. He's going to add a Destiny with an EPP, with EPP Chewie and Boba Fett. Wow. So for free. So Adam, even though he probably burned his shields, he doesn't. Okay, perimeter scan. That's big. I was going to say the free shield might have come in handy. Well, not really, because he whiffed on that, and the 2 forms wouldn't have been a huge difference here. It is really rare that Boba Fett Bounty Hunter gets deployed and doesn't get P-scanned. So he used to be 2-3 copies in a lot of decks, but perimeter scan V, even though it's like a set 1, virtual set 1 card, I believe. It's a pretty solid anti-maintenance card, and it does enough other functions that it finds its way into a lot of decks. So Scott is not going to battle here. He's going to pass through. It probably would be pretty crazy for him to battle just with Jango and Lin Mi. A lot of risk there, but now he will draw a couple. Probably remember to save the 2 force for maintenance, unlike me one time recently. We'll see what happens. So now Adam is going to get, so the 4 damage from the objective is going to get reduced down to 1. He's going to be able to drain for 2 here if he pays a 3, which he probably will. And then he probably won't pay for a drain of 1 there. Pretty sure this is all Adam's lightsabers. He's got all 3 of them out on these 3 locations. Scott might really want to have that blow power soon, because there might be like, sorry about the mess or clash. This is a risk, but he probably has a Gick combo in that 7-card hand at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 2 Gicks. But this will be a big turn. So we're at turn 5 here for Adam. And we're still, doing similar damage. 1, 2, 3, retrieve 1 versus 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Adam's going to draw a card with Kit Fisto's game text. Adam's going to activate not his max, right? He's going to cause the Force loss with Decree. Yeah, he activated 13, it looks like, but he could have activated 14. Excuse me, save 6. So that could easily be, 2 swings between the Jedi lightsaber and Chewie, maybe a mess. Adam's obviously got a plan here for this turn. There goes Bloparied. That's the thing about Bloparied. It's a nice card when you have it, but it just being one interrupt. Obviously Crush the Rebellion wouldn't really make sense in court, but it's good in being a Clash of Sabers counter, and that you always have it out there. It's usually a card that's started. And Scott also loses Force Push off the top. So Adam's still probably debating what exactly to do this turn. And we have a neighbor in leads for Mace and Kit Fisto to the courtyard from the throne room. He's going to have way more lightsabers than Destiny to swing said lightsabers. But that's huge for at least Mace, because Mace, oh wow, and Scott has the counter and Utagut solo to cancel it after Adam plays it. So that would have been big if Mace could have got there, because he would have capped. Neither of these guys would add Destiny, so instead of 4 battle Destiny, it would have been 1. So that was a big play by Scott to have that to cancel the neighbor, and that could have been a big battle for Adam. We just saw Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi combo in the Lost Pile too. I don't think Adam's playing 2. So like I said, I always think Nels Hellrod is pretty close when you're playing against Scott, but he doesn't seem exceptionally vulnerable at any place. And it's not like Scott would send these 3, Lin-Me, Django, and Boba, into Mace. That's not a great play. He's probably not going to be able to. Maybe a hidden weapons would be big to get Amidala, but not even, because you don't care about Amidala. You need to actually win the throne room to flip him back. So as this all stands now, I think it's going to be pretty close. Adam's up a few. He's up 2 cards in hand and 2 cards face down, so that's 4, but it is his turn, so he's going to be hit with about 3 damage that Scott doesn't have to pay for. He's also going to eat a ping for court still, as he has every single turn this game so far. Sligo Bibble comes off the top, and we'll see what Adam does here. I wonder, he's got 4 Force active. He can initiate for free because of Anakin, he could cancel a bunch of destiny. So yeah, so he's still going to initiate here. I'd be afraid of a hidden weapons, but yeah, to like get Anakin, and that might really leave Chewie out to dry. Um, but either Scott's going to draw low and get the destinies through, or draw high and get them canceled. And this is why, for a long, long time, WHAP is a deck that needs to be accounted for because that flip side is really strong. So Django is hit, won't be able to satisfy attrition, still has his forfeit of 8 because of court adding 2. If Adam wins this location, then he can, he's got to drain it 2 then. He's going to make Scott only be able to reduce the ping damage by 2 because he'll only be on 2, presuming Scott doesn't also move to like the Pit of Carcoon or something else. So that would mean the damage race would definitely favor Adam, albeit slightly. He draws the 0, so he misses Boba Fett. Which I wonder, Boba's immune less than 5, but Anakin's going to add 1. So if he hit Lin Mi, she would lose 5 forfeit. She's very easy to hit. Actually, she's like guaranteed to hit. So that was actually really fortunate for Scott that he drew, 2-0, even despite the boost from the site. And there's the 5. So Lin Mi could cover all attrition. Here comes a 3 that's going to get through probably, unless Adam has another there tracking us. Draws the 5, a 3. There's a 4 that's going to get canceled. And then Adam's probably really hoping he can get out of this just losing maybe Anakin. But Scott would have to draw a 2. Another 5. Okay, yeah, so it looks like Chewie's going to be able to cover. Because he'll cover 6, and the 3 and the 3 get through. Oops. Total battle destiny 6. So Darkseid won the battle. Chewie's going to die. And then Scott's going to have the choice of losing either Fett or Lin Mi. I'm going to bet probably Lin Mi. Because Fett's obviously such a strong character. Scott's probably going to try to track around those destinies. Inevitably, he just drew 1-5-5. So if he activates 12, right there, he gets back to a 2-2. Or he gets back to the 3-3. He retrieved with Scum. So even if, as long as he can just get rid of Anakin, that's a pretty good battle. It could swing a bunch of force. Courtyard battles ended. Adam's probably debating: do I run away with Anakin just to avoid a counter beat, or do I reinforce? That would cost. It's only movement 2 here is free, right? Not from here. You move 2 here. But if he runs away, then this is going to be a drain of 2, which I'm sure he doesn't want to give up. I don't know actually if Adam has been running a Hujix in his WHAP. He didn't always. Hold on one second. I got to step away. Alright, hey guys, sorry about that. So, looks like I missed a drain. Ascension guns came off the top. Perimeter scan and the site, which Erica retrieved Lin May. Adam did retreat with Anakin to the hallway and move Qui-Gon. Where'd Qui-Gon go? Hallway to the throne room. So Qui-Gon's up here. Okay. Scott's going to use Dodo's text. And we saw the Blopari was just drawn, I believe, or was it lost? Maybe he's running two. I don't know. Scott does a verify with Nal Hutta. He can see what his 5 destinies are. Yeah, this musician deck can be a real headache. Akrev is gonna go to upload a musician. Rapper Tooney. So Rapper Tooney special edition. Let's look at him. Where present adds X forced. Opponent must initiate battle. Number of musicians present. I'm thinking, I wonder if Anakin probably still gets around him because he just initiates free, or is that a separate cost? That's a question I normally just ask Adam, but or Adam usually would be in the stream and it would have the answer for. I have a feeling it's a separate cost. Wow. May target 1 non-droid character present, draw destiny greater than defense value. Okay, so that's not that easy to do. Power 0. Battle order gets around Rapper Tooney's separate cost. I guess there's a handful of things like that, like wars not make one great. What's this? Feltaprin Travag is another one. Those guys that just add extra cost. I think I do remember that like battle order would get around Feltaprin, which is why he makes sense in court. Because you can still battle for free, but it makes the opponent pay more. So Scott reinforces Boba Fett with Rapper Tooney. Obviously a musician. And passes the turn to Adam here, who's got 13 and 9 is 22. Scott's hanging out at 13 and 11 is 24, about to do a round of damage though. So I'm wondering how many more battles we'll see this game. Or if they just kind of keep trading damage. Being game 1 of match play, obviously neither player wants to make a mistake that might set them back. But this looks like it's going to be a result somewhere in the 8 to 15 range, which is pretty wide. But at some point, Adam might start making some tough decisions on whether to pay to drain or actually do stuff, deploy people or save force for destinies. But he's gonna be able to pay 6 to drain for 2, and he's still got these. Oh, he can play for. Scott still has a shield pull. This doesn't add, and he's got. Oh, but this isn't cumulative, right? So these 2 Jedi lightsaber won't each add to the force drain, so it doesn't. Scott doesn't even need to add, or doesn't need to pull resistance here. So let's just hop out real quick. Let's just see how the other game's doing. If it's even going on. It looks like it is. Teemo's up by 7 in Life Force. And they both have a couple cards in hand. Board state. Looks like that's command that's probably grabbed up here. Barrier's grabbed over here. All the justice cards are burned. You got Invisible Hand with General Pride up here. If I had to guess, this looks good for Diplo. They're flipped. Darkside's much thinner on the ground here. You got Leia doing a shuffle, no celebration out. A lot of forfeit on here as it goes to Darkside's battle phase. I can't imagine Dark is going to initiate here. At the system, maybe they go here. Okay, so here's a swing. You got gentle covers in here, journey for 1. This is, I think I'm pretty positive they're planning to play both games, and this is game 1. Um, this looks good for Timo, but I wouldn't count Jared out at all. As an I Have You Now comes out to add 3 Destiny, and he can make sure he can have him redraw, but he's fully immune to attrition because of Evils Everywhere. Dooku's immune. There's nothing else overruling that. So even if he's normally immune less than 6, he's going to be adding 1, 2 to the total because of Diplo. So normally a 4 might get him, but because of Evils Everywhere, he's okay. And I've seen Chris playing this deck a little bit too in OCS, and kind of curious. I'm a fan of a lot of these cards. Like I like to play a Stunning Move a lot, but you don't see Invisible Hands and Invisible Hand sights out too often. Darth Tyrannus. I like Dooku a lot more because a lot of times you're on the defensive early game with the Stunning Move. So Luke dies, Dooku lives, or Tyrannus maybe I should say. I mean, imagine he's going to run away here in space. This is a stack of Antilles, Radis, who's an Admiral. And let's pop out back over to Adam here. This one's going to have some more time. I think we're probably entering a crucial game or crucial turn rather. So here comes the 2 clones. All right. So Adam has Rex and Cody out here against Boba Fett. He's going to be able to cancel any high destinies. Rappertoonie's forfeit is... let's see what's his forfeit. The +3, so he's forfeit 5. Adam, it's his deploy phase. He's not going to be able to... Unless he's got like inconsequential barriers. Rex is adding a Battle Destiny. Cody can cancel... Yeah, when he's with Rex. So... So Boba Fett's going to add 1, but it's... He puts Camino out, which means we're probably going to get to see like Naboo Fighter or Rick's Starship, or Bravo Fighter, not Naboo Fighter. So now Adam will satisfy Battle Plan. These are 4 parsecs apart. Both of these ships can get there, so Scott could chase him around. Boba would add 2 with Greedo, but that's Rappertoonie, not Greedo. So Boba's only adding 1 with another alien. He adds 2 with the Bounty Hunter. Yeah. Oh, so he's going to react with Greedo? Okay, gotcha. Sorry. That's what I had to step away for a minute. So here comes Mace. So he'll prevent the add of Battle Destinies from Boba. It looks like Adam's going to have a means to... now he's going to get some drains through for free. I doubt Scott has a 3rd ship. He does have 11 cards in hand. He could activate a decent amount. If he does have another ship, maybe Zuckuss. Zuckuss would be pretty good, but then the Bravo Fighter can hit it, but it'd even be more important that if Scott can just get Adam out of space so that so that Adam would have to pay for the drains. Alright guys, I'm sorry, I have to step away. I'm probably gonna have to step away in a couple more minutes for good, but hang tight. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Looks like I didn't miss too much. We got a retrieval with Erica. I saw a drain. Looks like rescue was played. Disarmed was a little lost. Nestler combo was lost. Top was lost. So Adam's getting down in life force. He's at 10. Scott's at 15. No, 14. Scott has a lot more cards in hand. And definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely, somewhat better capacity for retrieving. Erica's huge since Luke's never coming out. And she's never getting killed. And, Scum, I'm not really seeing a easy spot. Court ping continue to to hit Adam as we have size Snoodles come out. Once each turn, when you have at least 3 musicians on table, you may play Omnibox to cancel opponent's force related site. So she's basically just deploy 0, forfeit 6. Fodder that. Scott probably has an Omnibox combo, maybe not. But either way, she's just pretty good stats with Griata out. So you can basically just almost like Cal Foul. So here comes a battle plan, draw their fire. We know he has Greedo in hand, so Greedo would do some combination of preventing Adam from being able to fire at that courtyard or playing any tricks. As Ricestall comes out, we have retrieval. With the musician, Scott has a lot more cards in hand. Adam might be able to get a drain of 2, ping 1. So that's 5. Oompa stay. And he triggers Ricestall's retrieval. He is... Let's have her on. Power +2 at Jab's Palisade. Each of your musicians are power +2. So him coming out just added another 4 plus another 5 for himself. So 5, 7 is 12. And each of these are now normally 1, but now they're currently 3, it looks like. Or no, wow. What's his power? Rappertuni, is 5. Ricestall is 3. Is somebody reducing? Or is he only other? Yeah, other musicians. Okay, he doesn't apply to himself. Yeah, Mace blocks Boba from adding. And so it's only going to be 1 Battle Destiny, and it could get canceled. It doesn't even need to be a certain number with the objective. Cody will just cancel it. Comes Nizok back. So Scott's gonna be able to battle here, but he's not gonna be able to pay to retrieve with aim high. Um, but if he just gets rid of one of those clones, that could be good. Mango. And there's Slice Noodles for 0 force, and then it's going to trigger the retrieval again. With Rice Doll, right? Slice Noodles has to be Musician. Yeah, Musician. What's her text? Oh, is it only once? May retrieve 1 force each time you deploy Musician to same site. So I'm guessing there's going to be some trigger here that's got... I'm surprised it didn't... What am I missing? I thought Slice Noodles would do a retrieval. And here comes Greedos. This is a lot of power, so Scott's just going to try to just brute force, kick some of these characters off. And then it's only really another turn or two left. Here comes the battle. We have Scum. Nizuk Beck is going to make him move away or get lost. If he doesn't move him, so Adam chooses, now he's not going to be able to swing or cancel any destinies, now he might be able to cancel the one with the objective if it's high. But this is a lot of power. These guys are only going to cover 7 and 5 or 12. They're each getting 1 destiny. Oh gosh, power 0. So here's all the musicians doing their tricks. This is, 2 Doom stacks of musicians. They all do some crazy stuff. Scott's going to have 1 battle destiny, which may get canceled if it's high. It's not really going to matter. Adam's going to need a Hujix, or this is going to be basically game over. Because, now they're covering up to 18, so that's 11. No difference in battle destiny is going to make up for that. So either Adam has a Hujix, or this is going to be virtually over. It's just amazing. So Scott he still has 6 more cards in his hand. There's a lot. I wonder how many characters are truly in this deck. Is it 28, 30, 32? Like, it's a lot. So wow. So Adam either doesn't have the Hujix, or he's putting some cards in Scott's lost pile, which can be helpful for match play. Maybe like that helped me Obi-Wan Kenobi to exclude Umpus would be really helpful here. That would really take the power down a bunch. That would be like 6, plus he's another 3, so that's 9. He might be able to just stretch out another turn, but as Scott draws a 1. Now first strike, so he's not going to be able to draw or play Hujix. Oh yeah, the help me Obi-Wan could... I don't know what I was saying. But this is 10 overflow here, which is all but 4. So what'll happen... I'm guessing he can lose the 5. Did he just toss? Huh. So Scott loses Umpus Stay, and who else? The hit guy too, right? Oh, Umpus was the hit guy. But because it was Mesa's, he kept his forfeit. So, if you're Adam, you're debating whether, hey, do I just peel all 10? Get this over with, or do I maybe try to get my damage through of 1, 2, 3, but Scott would probably just toss a bunch of stuff from hand. And then also this does not allow Scott, if he has some like used interrupt, or even like a Uta Guta solo, which he'd have to pay 1 to upload a card. It wouldn't allow him that opportunity. So it looks like Adam is just going to peel, and this is going to be over, and it looks like Scott's going to win by 15. So if they are playing second game, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to do it right now. But Scott wins the first by 15 with Court Musicians over WHAP. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to close this down. The other ones are going on. Like I said, hopefully maybe we get the replays and someone on the streaming team, some commentator can review them just for transparency. And Scott's saying he can't play the second one now. Okay, so that's cool. Maybe we'll try to cover it later. There's another one tonight. I'm not sure who may cover it. Probably not me. But Adam Chunzo is playing Wayne at 10 p.m. Eastern. They're up here. And I think Dylan and JJD are going to play their second game now as well, was their plan. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Take care. Timo just won by 27. Wow. Okay. So that's going to be a really tough game too. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.